What's going on, everybody? This is yet another special edition of Road to the Doctorate. Why is it special edition? Because it involves my classmates, technologies and creative learning. That's right. We're going to be looking at an interactive lesson tonight on different educational technologies that are available to you that you can use for your students in the classroom. So we're going to go from Mr. Coleman to Mr. English. So now, join me on the journey for Technology Time with Mr. English, brought to you by Road to the Doctorate. So, our first and most important thing is the introduction. We gotta get what we're gonna get out of the way. So we're gonna be looking at technology and its importance. Then we're gonna be looking at an ed puzzle as our main vehicle. Then we're going to be looking at Kahoot as another main vehicle, Google Meet, Jamboard, and then finally Pear Deck. All right. So being able to use technology in the classroom, it's one of the most beautiful gifts that we've been given in the 20th and 21st century. However, with technology comes the fear of, oh, can I do this? Am I going to be good enough to use the technology for my students? Will the students be receptive of it? Will they be able to incorporate it into their own daily lives? These are the questions that we ask ourselves every single day. Ever since the first people to be introduced to technology, even us now. As a year 6 teacher, I even have doubts about technology and how receptive my students are, or even my own capabilities of it, even though I am a tech-born individual. So it does leave vulnerability. Everyone is going to be vulnerable about something when it comes to technology. The main goal here is, can you as an individual, can you as an educator make the sacrifice to go for what you really want and be able to give your students the best instruction, the best lessons possible with the highest and most powerful technology available. That's right, it's up to you. So let's check out our first platform for our interactive lesson today. Ed Puzzle. Ed Puzzle is one of the tools used to help students incorporate viewing videos and testing for comprehension as to what they have seen. Viewing the pieces aptly as educational puzzle pieces, these students can watch each video and not have to worry about memorizing so much content. This also allows the teacher to be able to immediately record a grade for the students, or if they desire them to have a specific grade to pass, the teacher can allow the students to take the assessment as often as they like. Now, many of the vulnerabilities of the technologies that are being introduced are going to be virtually the same. So you can read them pretty much as your leisure. You can pause the video and read them to basically get more comprehension. But I'll read the first one for the sake of context. Vulnerabilities of this particular technology involve limited, unreliable, or no access to the internet by the student. This is Wi-Fi technology. Student comprehension may be limited, and of course, special needs students may be most vulnerable. All right. Now, with each of these, we were to basically provide two of these were supposed to provide a scenario, a lesson, and a possible example. So with two of these, the Ed Puzzle and Kahoot, you will see the lesson, and then you'll see the example beneath it. All right. So first up is Ed Puzzle, the lesson and example. This one is dealing with perfection, and it features the text of Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Birthmark. And for all you educators out there that have read The Birthmark at least once, you know that it deals with the inability to accept perfection as it is when we seek perfection that is attributed to our version of it. So the students will warm up with the bell ringer, talking about what's the definition of perfection. Then the instructor will go and lead the students deeper into how perfection has affected Americans between the 18th century all the way to the 21st. Then we introduce the story and how Nathaniel Hawthorne came up with the context. Then we have that guided activity, which is the Ed Puzzle. The link is in the video. So closing activity, after you've done that, you basically give them an idea like, okay, maybe I can share that story as in when perfection affected me in the same way. All right. The second activity that falls under Edpuzzle is involving Edgar Allan Poe's Telltale Heart and the definition of insanity. Much like our format before, we have the warm-up, which is the definition of insane or insanity. Then we talk about the different kinds of experiences that the students and the teacher may have gone through in witnessing insanity or feeling like they've experienced insanity of their own. Introduce Edgar Allan Poe for the main piece and the story. Then we do the guided activity for the Edpuzzle Telltale Heart. Then afterwards, you would have them talk about when was a moment that you felt insane. Now, granted, these can be made to be flexible for period schedules and block schedules, so do not be afraid to take advantage of that. All right. Moving on to Kahoot. Kahoot is one of the most innovative education online technologies available. Kahoot has given teachers the ability to create or borrow templates based on their lesson plans and units covered in class. This also doubles as a trivia game, which fosters competition among the students, and being in education, this allows us to persuade students with the reward of being the top contender. And as you can see, these are the vulnerabilities of the particular technology. All right. I've already mentioned before, these are virtually the same throughout the entire spectrum, especially being in a rural area. All right. The Kahoot lessons, there's 2 of them, and they have examples to go with them, so you can follow the links that will be in the description below. With the warm-up, you have define synonym and give 3 examples. The opener, the teacher will review synonyms. The main lesson, introduce Kahoot, set the rules for the game. The guided activity will be the actual Kahoot game itself. And so the closing activity will be what was the most difficult aspect of the game. So you have to be able to really get inside of the students' heads. All right. Same thing is for the parts of speech. This is also another example. This is one I've actually used myself. Parts of speech. You know, we had the students list the 8 parts of speech and give an example of each. Then we had to review each part. Then we introduced Kahoot. Then actually bring the game in. And then talk about, what was the most difficult aspect of it. And believe it or not, in this game, a lot of the students have said that it was the pressure of being able to answer questions within a certain time limit. That was one of the biggest things that affects students and teachers as well. Because teachers in workshops, they have to play the technology in order to get accustomed to it. So with that being said, it can be very difficult trying to process like, okay, what's the answer? And you're looking at the clock. You want to make sure that you hit the right button. So we can definitely say we know how our students feel. Hey guys, I want to present to you an opportunity to get some enlightenment in your life, whether you're in education, nursing, business, psychology, whatever. This book is geared towards those that want to explore the nursing field, but it's definitely geared towards everybody. Everybody has a place in this book. It's made for all audiences. It's called You Already Won, A Journey Through Education, Nursing, and Mental Health Awareness. This is written by one of my great friends. His name is Dr. Kojo Sarfo, and he is one of the most humble people that I know. I've known him for about 8 years, and ever since he was taking nursing at UWA, one of his goals was always to help people, and to this day, that is still one of his main goals. So go to Amazon. I will leave the link down below. Go to Amazon, get the book. It's $14.99. And you got to pay some shipping and handling unless you got Prime, where you can get the shipping for free. And so, take a look at the book. It's going to allow you to be able to take in some knowledge, take in some information, and basically just learn from one of the best in the field. He's especially high on mental health awareness for the black community, and that's something that we can all get behind. I mean, we want to end the stigma of black people can't be affected by mental health issues. And so I want to introduce a clip from his YouTube channel, particularly his topic that was talking about how he ended up getting into the DNP program that he speaks of quite often in his journey. So let's go ahead and roll that clip.
We're going to talk about how to pick a career in healthcare. So a lot of people, for those who don't know my story, obviously I've spoken about it on YouTube many times, but I'll give you a quick rundown. Back in high school, I was a fair to awful high school student. Had like a 2.6 GPA. I didn't get accepted into any of the colleges in the state of Georgia. I had to go to Alabama. I started all over, right? I got the associate's degree in nursing from West Alabama. Then I got the bachelor's of science nursing degree from Western Governors University. And we had graduation at Disney World in Orlando, so that was pretty cool. And then after that, I went to Augusta University. And y'all know I was living in Augusta for a while, for about 5 to 6 years. And I got my DNP, my doctorate in nursing practice from Augusta University. And at the same time, I was also teaching at Augusta University. So in a nutshell, that's my educational path to where I am today. But a lot of people ask me, how did you know that you want to do this? How did you know that you want to take the nurse practitioner route and then get your doctorate? Did you know this? Did you know that? And the answer is no, I didn't know any of those things. To tell you the truth, I didn't even know about the DNP degree until, let's see, I started DNP school fall of 2016. I had no idea what the DNP degree was until about early 2016, late 2015.
So there you have it, guys. Dr. Kojo Sarfo, one of the greatest guys that I've known since college. He is truly going to forever be a part of my life and part of the Suave life. And for those of y'all that aren't close to us, you'll never know what that means. So, Dr. Kojo Sarfo, you go, man. Let's get back to the show. Google Meet and Jamboard, while these are not vehicles for activities for students, they are basically enhancements for the teachers to be able to make the activities that you do with your students a whole lot better. All right? Google Meet and Jamboard. In combination and in tandem, these two applications make teaching virtually much easier in that you have a whiteboard on hand as well as being able to see your students while you teach. The Google Meet Room is a Google version of Zoom that comes with several capabilities, including sharing a screen. This allows students to see everything you display on another screen, although it is recommended that you have 2 monitors for this job. One feature, sharing a tab, allows the students to be able to see what you pulled up on the internet. This is most useful for when you want to show a clip on YouTube than something like parts of speech or biology. Jamboard is an interactive whiteboard that allows you to draw on and create little notes to help simplify the lessons for the students. Now, this is heavily relied upon because most students that you're dealing with will be special needs. Not necessarily in education, but just in general. A lot of the lessons that we teach, we give them so much information in a PowerPoint, but how can we break that down even further? Jamboard allows us to put the highlights of certain pieces of a presentation, and it gives it a clear picture. So that is one piece of technology I definitely would recommend. All right, finally, Pear Deck. Pear Deck works in conjunction with Zoom and Google Meet, and it allows teachers to create interactive lessons and insert assessment questions right in the middle of instructional time. So if a teacher decides that they wanted to test the student knowledge, they wouldn't just ask the question. They would actually place the question inside of the presentation, and when the student, whoever got it right, it would show how the student got it right, what was the deductive reasoning behind it, and if they got it wrong, they would show like the feedback, as in how can you do better with this so we can answer the question correctly next time, or answer any other question correctly next time. So the students can answer questions, get feedback to mistakes and errors and how to correct them, and this allows students to feel comfortable talking to each other and the teachers. So with that being said, technology is out here. Many people fear technology because they think that it will cripple the educational system. I go on record to say that technology is in by no means a crutch or a danger to cripple educators. In fact, it is a tool that we use because we, the teachers, we're the weapons of mass instruction. These pieces of technology are our tools, the tools that we're able to use in order to deliver those healthy pieces of instruction to our students. By incorporating our knowledge, skills, and abilities, we can always make technology work for us and not work for the technology. Students can see that technology will be essential in the future, not just for surfing Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram, but being able to do discussion boards, to be able to engage in Socratic seminars live and on Zoom or Google Meet or what have you. These are the things that we want to emphasize to our students. So it starts with us. What are we willing to do to learn about the technology that is present in our lives? This is Bertie L. Coleman III, aka Mr. English, and you have just been blessed with a presentation. Follow me on Road to the Doctorate on YouTube so you can catch all sorts of good content and a few funny stories here and there. So just to let you know, my classmates, you are not alone. You have somebody who understands your struggle. So be blessed.